Yo, what's up? It's your boy Aries Spears, and you watching Real Black. Keep it locked.
Excellent. Well, welcome to Philly. So,
Thank you.
I guess you're not a stranger to Philly or a stranger to like stand-up comedy at all.
No, not at all. Been doing it 19 years. I've been to Philly probably about 5 different times. So I'm familiar with the brotherly love, man.
Okay, that's what's up. So, I mean, like I know you started young because I remember the South of Sunset show.
Yeah.
Um, like how did you get your start? For those people that don't know the history.
I started doing comedy when I was 14 in New York, between New York and New Jersey. I was good friends with Bob Sumner, the creator of Def Comedy Jam. So by the time I was like 17, Def Jam was in its second season. So he brought me on. I did it with Martin, the original crew. And after that, a year later, I did Showtime at the Apollo, and the rest just kind of fell into place.
Okay. So, I mean, what's it like knowing what you want to do first, so young, was a rarity, and then
Right.
generating all that heat, so
It's just as a young kid, I always knew I wanted to be famous, special. Always got in trouble for being funny, so my mother at some point gave me an ultimatum. She said, you either got to start paying rent, or you got to get out. So, I started doing local clubs in New York and New Jersey, made a little bit of money, paid a little bit of rent. But when it started working for me and I saw that was my niche, I stuck with it, and again, things just fell into place.
okay, that's what's up. You don't have to be married to the mic.
Right.
It's picking you up pretty good, I think. Yeah. So I mean, most people know you from Mad TV. Like, let's talk about that a little bit. Do you remember your audition?
My situation was a little different. I mean, when I moved out to LA, I was like for the first 5 years I was in development deals. So I had a development deal with CBS, NBC, ABC. By the time I got around to Fox, Mad TV was going into its third season. So they wanted me then, but I couldn't do the show because I was locked up in contracts with other networks. So when long story short, when all didn't pan out, I was with Fox at the time, and the president, Peter Chernin, was like, yo, I'm a big fan of yours. I just want to put you on. So I had made so much money in that amount of time, but I didn't have anything to show for it. So I was like, man, at this point, I didn't need to make any more money. So I was just put me on TV and let me show what I could do. Cut to my first season of Mad, and I've been there for 8 years.
Wow. So I mean, is that what happens to a lot of comics? Like they get snatched up by TV or development deals?
At one point that was the case. Between the late 80s and early 90s, the comedy boom was so strong that was pretty much the procedure. You go on stage, you do a 10-minute set. People from networks and studios see you, and they get your point of view and your perspective on what you think, and they base a show around you. But that doesn't happen anymore. It's all about reality shows and craziness.
Okay. I mean, for those, I mean, like a lot of people are watching who love to be in your footsteps or learn from your experience. I mean, I think that's what our show has the most value in. I mean, like what? Actually, wrote this one down. What would you say would be your biggest lesson in 20 years of doing it?
It's hard to pinpoint it because it's changed. The game is so unpredictable, and it's so crazy that like I said, because reality shows are a big thing now. It's like the old way doesn't work anymore. So it's like a lot of times when young people come to me and ask me, well, what can I do to make it as an actor or in the comedy business or in the movie business? I say, be a rapper. You know what I mean? I lose more parts to rappers and R&B singers than I do comedians and actors.
And you have a real strong love for hip hop.
Yeah, I got a love-hate relationship with hip hop. A lot of it I love for the positive aspects, to see these young brothers become entrepreneurs and moguls, and they could be selling drugs or killing people. So to do something positive with their life is great, but so much of it is hypocritical at the same time because a lot of them don't practice what they preach. You know what I mean? So, it's just you got to learn to take it for what it is. It's entertainment value. Because 50 Cent said he done shot 50 people, don't mean that. He's just doing what he got to do to sell albums.
And you have a lot of friends in the entertainment industry.
Right.
I noticed that you have a commercial on your website for your CD. I mean, can you talk a little bit about that project and how it came about?
Yeah, I got a 2-hour double disc CD. It's called I Ain't Scared. It's an hour stand up, hour prank phone calls. So, through my relationships, throughout the business, and the fact that I've been in it for as long as I've been in it, I've worked with Snoop, I've worked with Jamie Foxx, DMX, Pharrell. So I got a lot of them to endorse my album on my website. So, those are the pluses and the advantages to being in Hollywood. You make relationships and you make, ties with people and you use them to your advantage. But, I'm still waiting for one of them to put me in one of their movies or something.
So, I mean, I went to school out there for a minute. Does it feel segregated to you, like the
The
comedy
business?
black film and the comedy scene?
Very segregated. It's Hollywood is a country club, old school country club. It's like they only allow a certain number of members if you're black, and Will Smith is one of the elite. Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle is one of the elite. I'm still on busboy status, so hopefully after I do enough work, I'll be able to trade in my apron for an Ivy League uniform.
But Jerry Maguire was a hit. Were you invited to the Oscars on that one?
No, everybody got shown the money but me. You know what I mean? Famous catchphrase, show me the money. I'm still waiting on them to show me the money.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't want to bitter interview. I mean, I'm sure Mad TV was a great experience and opportunity.
Right.
I don't know what they paid. I have no clue. What were some of your favorite characters on that show? What did that show allow you to do besides create the level of comfort for yourself?
You know what, Mad TV, as far as it's almost like a cult hit. People that watched the show, people that knew the show, would always say the same thing. We were better than SNL. But SNL is the big boy on the block. So, we could never truly, in essence, be better than them. But to hear people say that was great. And it's like a lot of my favorites were things that had nothing to do with me. I really appreciated all the work that Deborah Wilson did, that Will Sasso did, that Nicole Sullivan did. As vain and as egotistical as we as artists are, you like to watch other people's work. So, while I like the appreciation and the respect for what I did, it's always great to hear it. As a fan of comedy, I just like watching other people work.
And do you have a philosophy on why certain things are funny?
Nah, I just think if it's funny, it's funny. I think sometimes people try to put too much emphasis on what funny is better than another. The point of all this is to make people laugh. So whether your material is highbrow, intellectual, political, or whether it's just based on fart jokes, you gotta make the people laugh. The intellectual thing is great. It's really, you can respect it because it takes a certain amount of wit to be able to compose all of that. But, you don't pay to think, you pay to laugh. So, if I can get you holding your stomach and wiping tears from your face, I've done my job.
That's very good. So, 3 more points. So, what can people expect? I mean, like, millions of people used to see you on television.
Right.
What can people expect from a live Aries Spears?
I just bring the funny, man. You know what I mean? It's like, people pay to see certain things, and I know a lot of comedians like to shy away from what made them famous. And I've always been a firm believer in, riding the bus till the wheels fall off. If it made me famous, I got to roll with it. And if you pay money to see it, I got to give it to you. But that's not the only aspect of my game. I want to be able to give you what you expect and then hit you with things that you don't see coming. You know what I mean? Because I think overall it makes you a well-rounded performer. So, I try to be like Michael Jordan, man. I want every aspect of my game to be sharp.
Well, you ride race really well. Can a black comedian be funny and not address the cause?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. I don't know the Bill from all my homework and knowledge on Bill Cosby. He never was one to really address race because he firmly believes that comedy is a human issue. If people can relate to you on a human level, doesn't matter what color you are. And there is truth to that. But then you look at Richard Pryor, who was the direct opposite of that, who basically defined race. Every black comedian you see now on Def Jam and BET that does black-white jokes, they're taken out of Richard Pryor's book. He wrote the manuscript on relations between blacks and whites. So we're not saying anything that's original. We're just giving you our own point of view on it. It's kind of like the philosophy between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. If you remember at the end of Do the Right Thing, they had a script from how Martin believed on race, and they had Malcolm X's belief on race. Two different points, but both points met the same, the same means to an end. You know what I mean? They were both saying the same thing. They just believed to go about it differently. So, long story short, Bill Cosby was right in everything he did, and Richard was right in everything he did. They just walked two different paths to get to the same ending.
So, new niggers and Richard Pryor's era were Vietnamese, now they're Arabs.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Yeah, it's a good point. Exactly.
All right, well, got to talk about the election, and I don't know if you want to talk about Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror or not. I mean,
Yeah, well, everything, we can talk about anything.
you were the only bright spot in that movie. I'm sorry.
I read that. I read that.
I had to sit through a whole movie to get to your.
Listen, until you become Will Smith, until you become an A-lister, you got to do movies that pay the bills. And that was one of them pay the bill movies. But regardless of how great the movie is or isn't, my goal is to shine. So, of course, in a perfect world, I would like for the movie to be great, but I don't control that. I don't control the writing. I don't control the direction of the movie. That's the director. I'm not a producer. I'm a hired hand. So all I can do is what I can do to contribute to the movie. If it's great, beautiful. If it's not, at least I want you to be able to walk out of it going, he was the bright spot, which means I did my job.
So all the development deals, they shy you away from trying to develop your own material.
Nah. I mean, it's like you have your own idea as far as what you want to do, and your own goals that you want to try and reach. But until you get there, you got to try to just learn from everything within the journey. Damon Wayans once told me, enjoy the journey. You know what I mean? You know what the destination is, but enjoy the journey. So, everything is a learning experience.
That's good. So, I mean, in the 20 years, has the town gotten bigger for African Americans? I mean, are there more opportunities, or is just more people in there?
No, still is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like I said, it's an elite club. And if you get to be one of the elite, lucky for you. But if you're not one of the elite, it's an everyday struggle. And I don't even necessarily blame Hollywood for that. I blame black people for that. Because the Chris Rocks and the Jamie Foxxes and the Chris Tuckers and the Dave Chappelles, these are all guys in positions of power. Every time you go to an Adam Sandler movie, you see Rob Schneider in there. Every time you go to a Dane Cook movie, you see one of his boys in there. How come Jamie don't put Chris in his movie? How come Eddie don't put Dave in his movie? How come, it's like, black people, we have a mentality of all, one for itself. How funny would a movie be to have Chris Tucker and Dave Chappelle, two of the hottest young comics in the game, do a movie together? But, we don't think like that. We think like, yo, man, I got mine, you got to get yours. I make $20 million, you make what you make, good luck. And it's unfortunate, but, we're our own worst people. You know what I mean? You got all these talented brothers in the game. How come we not doing movies together? How come one dude doesn't pull another dude up from the bottom and say, dude, forget the ego. You know what I mean? I'm here, whether you're here with me or below me, just get this money, man.
I mean, some might disagree. I mean, just for devil's advocate person, I will mention, like, how the state had Bernie Mac and Tracy Morgan, and then we had Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins.
Yeah, but Bernie Mac ain't Chris Rock. Bernie Mac, Bernie is a strong veteran, and he's a respectable comedian. But I'm talking about powerhouse dudes. Eddie Murphy's a powerhouse. Jamie Foxx is a powerhouse. Dave Chappelle, Comedy Central, they offered him $50 million. He's a powerhouse. I'm talking about putting powerhouses together. You look at all the Ocean 11 movies. Oceans, you got George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon. Each one of those guys can open a movie on their own. But you saw an all-star cast with all these dudes coming together. We've never seen a movie where you got a Chappelle, a Chris, a Dave, a Jamie together. It's not rocket science.
So where's this generation's Let's Do It Again? Basically.
Exactly.
I got you.
Exactly.
All right. So thoughts on the election and just final thoughts?
Barack Obama, baby. Barack, I'm black, he black. This is a chance for him to win. I'm with him. It's funny because like white people ask me, well, who you vote for? It's Barack. I mean, do you know anything about his politics? Nope. Do you like him personally? I don't know him. How could I? So why you voting for him? Because he's black. When is the next time you're going to have a black man this likable have a shot to win? Last time was who? Jesse Jackson, and he wasn't likable. Jesse didn't have a shot in hell. Black people knew that, but we voted for him because it was a brother. White people like Barack. He's the Will Smith of politics. How can you be black? Like when I would watch TV, it was funny to me because I would watch TV and I would see Hillary Clinton and do her campaign, and I see all these black people behind her support her. How can you be black in America and not vote for Barack? That is a disrespect to your ancestors. That is a disrespect to your great-grandmother. That is a disrespect to every black person that got hit with water hoses, attacked by German shepherds, and that stood in them picket lines with Martin and Malcolm to be able to be in that position. We might not get this chance again. If you're black and you don't vote for Barack, shame on you. I don't give a damn about his politics. He's black, and we need a black president.
Well, amen to that. That's the running theme of the season.
Yes.
The season show. Do you have a joke about it though? Or?
About Barack?
You're very serious about it.
I said it tonight. I said the joke tonight. You know, this nigga's got a shot. I'm with him.
That's what's up. All right, and just like the 5-year plan. I mean, where are we gonna see you next?
Oh my God! Only God knows that, and I'm praying to him. So if you talk to him before I do, tell him to click over. I'm on the other line. I'm waiting for him to answer my call. I'm one of the most frustrated / bitter comedians in the game, man. Been doing this 19 years, and I know, not to be cocky or arrogant, I know I bring the business, man. But for a lot of different reasons, I'm not where I'm at. Some of it my own. I got my own demons I got to deal with. But some of it because I'm not, Hollywood likes its niggas happy. They want to see us smiling all the time. And this business is one that reminds you what color you are. So when you remind me that I'm a nigga, how do I smile every day? So I'm trying to figure it out.
Amen to that. I mean, that's why we're in Philly. It's too much pressure in there.
Yeah, I don't do well with tap shoes.
Do you do the chocolate sundaes? I get emails all the
Yeah.
time. Does that really happen? Next time I go, Donnie.
Yeah, no, chocolate sundaes is real, man. But it's like I said, it's one of the same dilemmas. Chocolate sundaes. It's always interesting because you look at the only three comedy clubs in Los Angeles: Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, Improv, all white owned. The busiest night is Black Night, but yet they they charge double for drinks, and they turn the heat up to make black people get hot and go, I need a drink. Now, if you tell me that ain't racism, I don't know what is. And then on Chocolate Sundays, you got Eddie Murphy sitting in the crowd. Some nights Chris Tucker's in there, Dave Chappelle's in there. They see the young talent coming up. Again, you can't use your power to go, I don't know you, young brother, but I just seen you. You're phenomenal. Let me use my power to help bring you up. So then when you become powerful, you help the next man. White folks do it for each other all the time. Black people, we don't do that. So who's it blame?
The crabs. We went on the crabs. Crab in the barrel syndrome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's all we came for. I mean, unless you have some final thoughts that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, no, it's...
Okay.
Yeah, we good? Did we do it?
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Yes,
It's answers like that that keep me from getting what the fuck I need to be.
Nah.
I can't say shit like that.